Hey everybody, I'm William,
And I'm Kina.
and we are the Nerdyweds.
Yes, we are. And that's when you ask, what are we doing today? But he don't want to ask, so I guess I'll just say, we are doing our mystery box convo. And we did a mystery box convo that you came up with the topic. So now it's my turn to come up with the topic.
And it's been a while. I forgot we even were doing this segment.
It has been a
It's
while.
been so long.
And the bad thing is, I'm the one who came up with the idea of mystery box convo. And at the time when I came up with it, I had a topic, and it just went right out of my head.
It
Like
never came
immediately, it went out of my head. And so you came up with the topic and did it, and we just put it on the back burner because I didn't want it to be 6 months before we posted yours and then posted mine. But you dined me out anyway.
Yep.
You dined me out anyway. I shouldn't even tell you the mystery box convo. We shouldn't even do it.
So the premise of this conversation is that each one of us comes up with a topic that the other one doesn't know about. And we're calling it the mystery box combo.
Yes. And
I'm waiting with bated breath to
I
find
know.
out what
Are
the
you-
hell she's come up with.
I am drawing it out. Are you excited? Do you really want to know what it is?
We usually come up with
Well,
really
you
great
know-
stuff.
Well, before we get into it,
Oh, jeez.
the mystery box at conventions always consists of course, a different genre. Like it could be a Pokemon box, it could be a Star Wars box, and you buy it generally for about $50, and you open it up, and there's just a mix of different things in the box related to that
What's in the
topic.
box?
What's in the box? Your head. Related to that topic. I just went like segue that all over the place. That's what a mystery box is. It's like all over the place, and you buy it in the hopes that something really good will be in the box that is more than what the $50 you paid, because there's always the so-called opportunity that one of the boxes is worth a lot of money. Everything else is worth the $50 you paid, but there's a bunch of boxes thrown in that's worth a whole lot more.
Yeah, sometimes they'll have a little like letter in it that tells you won the big statue that's sitting on top of their booth. Mm-hmm. And I saw a guy win one of those one time, big Conan statue.
But never us. We've bought a couple of mystery boxes, but we've never got that big prize. So My mystery box topic today might be it might be a dud, but it might be one of those, really tempting ones. Might be one of those good ones. We'll see. And he gets to be the judge because it's geared towards him. So I think I've made him wait long enough. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I've made him wait long enough. I'm going to tell him. But I'm going to start with, you've been traveling for work, and Friday I did something.
Uh-oh.
I did it after work, and I finished it Sunday. And that is what our mystery box conversation is about. I started and finished reading book 1 of Stormlight Archive. Brandon Sanderson. Yes.
You did?
And that is what I did, and that's what our conversation is going to be about today.
Is that what you were talking about last night when you were like, I didn't see that coming?
Yes. So is this just a regular old $50 box mystery box combo, or is this a good one?
This was the big box. This was the big one.
So
That's awesome.
Are you surprised?
I'm surprised and ecstatic, elated. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
For anyone who hasn't been listening to the podcast, let's fill you in, because we haven't really talked. Yes, I wanted it on videotape because I wanted to get your reaction. We haven't really talked about it much on the channel, YouTube channel, other than when we talked about the board game based off of the book. Almost every episode, he finds a way on the podcast to bring up Stormlight Archive. It's his favorite series right now. And he absolutely loves it. He bought a board game. We bought the Kickstarter, and he raves about it nonstop.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
So since we talked about the Kickstarter, he wanted to show part of it because we got part of it.
Yep, this is part of it. This is book one, the one she said she's read. This is the 2-volume book one of the Stormlight Archive. It is an autographed and numbered copy of the book. That's the backs of the books there. In the front of the book is the Windrunners symbol. And these are beautiful leather bound. This is number 303 of the numbered series. There are 900 of the numbered series in the 2020 books, and there's going to be 900 more in the 2020 versions.
Oh, okay.
So I got number 303 out of 900.
Now, as you can see, he gets really excited talking about any opportunity he can talk about it and show the things that he's gotten in relation to it. He loves that. And with me having read the book, it makes it where a lot of things that we watch on YouTube, he'll either have to watch it later because he doesn't want to spoil the series for me, because he's been trying for a while to convince me to read it. And I am not a fan of fantasy. I like different genres of books. So it hasn't even been on my list, to be honest, to read. It hasn't been on my list.
It only took you 3 days. I'm impressed.
Because I needed to get it done before you got home, but then I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot all about it. I should have been reading it throughout the week. I should have started on Monday, because reading it after work, I wouldn't have had to rush. I would have just been able to read a couple hours each day after work and be done by Friday. But instead, like an idiot, I started on Friday, but couldn't start until after the evening because I was working. Anyway, and it's 1,000 pages. When I saw how long that book was, I was mad. I was like, this book is over 1,000 pages, 1,100 pages. 1,124 to be exact.
Of I Can't Stop Reading. It's 1,124 pages of I Can't Stop Reading.
For you.
Well, obviously, you read it in 3 days. You couldn't stop doing it either.
I wanted to finish because I wanted to surprise you.
Book 4 comes out tomorrow.
Oh, give me a break. Come on now. I know you're not going to now start hammering for me to read the other books so that I can read book 4.
Obviously, you're going to have to read the other books. You've read the first one.
But then this is what the mystery conversation is about. You talk about the book, what we liked, and whether I'm going to read the rest of them or not. Because I don't know. It's not a given.
Well, you're going to have to remind me exactly where book 1 ends, because I don't want to go past it.
Exactly. Okay, so book 1 ends where Dalinar...
No, hold on, stop.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning for anyone who has not read book 1,
yes.
The Way of Kings, book 1 of the Stormlight Archive, The Way of Kings.
Yes.
By Brandon Sanderson. Don't listen to any more of this episode.
This is the part.
Thank you for watching up to this point, but I think that this would be a good place for you to stop, go read the book, and come back.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And we'll make sure we put the timestamp, and we also put it in the title.
Yep, and we're also going to put in a banner saying, "Hey, spoilers," after this. So.
Okay. So in the book 1, it ends where Dalinar is given his blade to Sadeas, and what's his name? Kaladin. Yes, Kaladin is now part of the honor guard for Dalinar.
Okay, so it ends with him becoming the leader of Dalinar's bodyguard.
Yes.
Okay. So everything before that's fair game. So, how long did it take you to really figure out the world, the ecology of the world? Because it's quite a bit different than...
Yeah, it's different, but he does a really good job with describing things. He's very descriptive. And he also puts in the pictures, and he tries to equate... Well, in my mind, it felt like he equated the different animals in the world to things that we can relate to, especially the Sprins and with there being different kinds of sprints. And then it wasn't until towards the end of the book, I say, that he revealed that these sprints is part of the magic in the world. So I feel like that probably maybe will be explored more in later books. I don't know. But it was more so the magic that was revealed almost, it felt like, bits at a time. Like, I thought I understood it. And then and then there was more to it. And then more got revealed. And that was interesting. I liked the world. I liked the magic. And there were certain characters that I really wanted to continue to know more about their journey. And those were the things that I liked.
Who were your favorite characters?
My favorite characters, Callan. I wrote these names down.
Stormblessed, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote the names down because I wanted to make sure I did not forget them. Because how are you going to say Callan is your favorite character and then you're sitting here hesitating over his name? But it'd be like that sometimes. Anyway, with him, I felt like he had an arc. He had.
But he was the main character.
He was the main characters of the first book, but he definitely had an arc to his character. He had some downfalls, and then he was coming back from that. So it made it easy to be able to relate to him as a full-fledged character. So that's the main reason why I would say he's the favorite character, just because it felt like for the author, this was the one that he was spending more time on developing. He was a well-developed character. Dalinar, I like the fact that he was this, strong warrior, but he was getting older and he was changing his views on things. So it was like he was in the process of developing. That character was in the process of developing. So I like that. I was a little bit frustrated when reading, because you start to get a good feel or gravitate towards one of the characters, and something really, he always ends the chapter with an ending that is really captivating, that makes you want to just keep reading about their story. And just when he reveals something where you're like, oh, what? He moves on to another character. And this is done in books where I don't always get annoyed by that, because each character is well developed and their storyline is well developed. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I do want to know more about that, and that was some real drama right there, but I do also want to know about these characters and their stories as well. So they're on par, but there are definitely some storylines and characters that are not on par. So when that happens, there are moments where I'm very annoyed. Like when they go back to Seth, however you pronounce his name. It gets annoying. It's annoying, right? When they're moved from one character to his, and then to Jasna and Shallan, which is very annoying because yes. Oh, okay. Say it again. Yesna. Okay, because I was saying Jasna, so it's Yesna?
Yesna.
Oh, okay.
And
Shallan. Okay, so and I said Shallan. So that's another thing with reading the books. Like, y'all read it and pronounce it one way.
I listened to the audiobooks first.
So you know how their names pronounced. So that's why I'll stop and I stopped to make sure I get it right, because I knew you listened to it, so you know exactly how the names are pronounced. But I would have never said Yesna because it's a J. So, but the thing that frustrated me about their storyline is if equal time was spent on their characters and their storyline and the importance of what Yasna is doing, because he wants us to believe what she's doing is important, but he's not showing me that it's important with the time that he spends with them.
Where did it end with them?
It ended with them where Shallan
Shalon.
Shalon. Okay, I keep wanting to say Shalon. Shalon.
It's fine.
Shalon was trying to steal the Fabrial.
Fabrial, okay.
And she got caught basically because she was poisoned, and Yasna was going to use it to get the poison out of her blood, and she had to reveal to Yasna that, oh, girl, you ain't got the real one because I stole it. But come to find out, Yasna wasn't using the Fabrial anyway to do her magic. She was doing it
Fabrial was fake too?
It was fake as well. She was doing it herself. So also, Shalon. I'm never gonna get Shalon's name right. From here on out, I'm sorry. It's probably just gonna be. I'm just gonna be saying Shalon. Fine. My brain don't want to say Shalon. But anyway, Shalon. Shalon discovered that she's able to do this stuff herself as well. So there's an interesting story there. There's more magic that was revealed and how they work, because she was seeing, once she started to be able to realize she could do this magic on her own, she realized that there were the creatures around her, and they believe these are some type of spren. That, at least that, I don't know if that's true, but that's what Yasna's said. Like, it could be spren or something like that, which made me think, and I could be wrong, I'm only on the first book, that some of this magic is from these sprins, that the humans and the sprins work together to create magic, because that is what is happening with Kaladin and yes, right. Mm-hmm. So the magic's very interesting.
I will tell you that in book 2, Shalon is more the main character.
Okay.
Kaladin kind of takes a little bit of step back. So, like the book 1 there contains the Windrunner symbol, which is what Kaladin is. That's the symbol of the Windrunner. So him and one of my favorite characters.
Who's your favorite?
Syl.
Oh yeah, I like her. She's one of the sprins that works with Kaladin. So she's I really liked her.
She's a lot of fun. The way that Brandon uses her as an innocent way to explore the world and give us details about this world that we wouldn't have gotten unless it was an exposition, like an info dump of some sort.
But in some areas, there really is that info dump.
No, of course. I mean,
because
when you're dealing with a world as complicated and developed as this world is.
Well, is it really that complicated? Or I'm just posing the question. I'm not saying either way, because I know people love this series.
You're not going to make me angry.
Well, I might make the people watching it angry, because I know people love this series. But did this book really need to be 1,124 pages?
That is an excellent question. He could have probably split this book into 2 books. But
for your answer, it would be yes.
It would be a 20-book series instead of a 10-book series.
I don't feel like it needed to be split into 2 books. I feel like an editor could have stepped in and said some of this stuff doesn't need to be here.
Like what?
Well, a lot of stuff where there's just too much description in some area. I was reading the book and wasn't really writing and taking notes at the time.
Fair enough.
Because I was wanting to finish it, to talk about it, and maybe if I decide to read the second book, maybe I'll do that. But I just felt like there was a lot of stuff that could have been removed, and I probably would have walked away thinking, dang, this book was really good. I would still feel like there was a lot of the world building and the developing, but not walked away feeling like for 1,124 pages, you needed to have a better storyline and plot. And that's, at the end of the day, that is the one con I'd have to mention for the book.
This book definitely spent a lot of time establishing a lot of characters and giving us not a complete, but a full story arc for one particular character. and letting us get to know characters like Wit, Dalinar, and then all of the members of Bridge 4, which become extremely important later in the books.
And they were important in this book. It was very interesting reading about Bridge 4.
Rock was my favorite.
Rock was your favorite?
I love Rock.
Was good.
There's a scene in book 3 with Rock that makes me cry. Book 3. Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be saying all that if you want me to read it. There's
a spoiler there.
There's a spoiler there if it made you cry. So most of the funny moments was between Bridge 4. And that's where the book really came alive, was just all of those different interactions between the guys on Bridge 4 and
Taft,
yes,
Rock, trying to remember some of the others. Zert, the Lopin.
Yes.
The Lopin.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
really,
I love the Lopin.
Really funny, like legit funny moments in the book just had me laughing. So I was surprised. I was
because I heard Saturday when I was home and stuff. You just bust out laughing reading the book, whatever you were reading. Yeah. And I was like, "What are you laughing about?" She's like, "I'm just reading a book."
Yes, because I didn't want to give
just leave me alone.
Anything away. So it's like, I'm just reading something. And then when I said about, I didn't see that coming. I love when a book surprises me. And you were like, what book? Like that perked your ears up. And I was like, oh, nothing. It's not anything you'd read.
What was that part? Do you remember?
Oh, it was the part when Shallan revealed to the Spren or to the creatures or wherever she was in the magic world realm what her secret. And this is spoiler. We've already
yeah.
She revealed that she had killed her dad.
Yep.
So I was like, holy. So she revealed that you have to reveal a secret for them to be able to, at least from what I got in this book, don't know if this is how it plays out, but you have to reveal a truth, a secret, a very deep, dark secret that no one else knows. And for them to be able to release the magic, for lack of a better way to phrase it. And that was one that she revealed. And I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. Because a lot of the different things in the way that the world works and the importance of magic and different things like that, you can kind of see where it's going. Like, okay, she's going to be using magic. She's going to... But I did not at all see that coming. And it was good. It was nice for that to happen.
Yeah.
To be shocked. What about you when you read that part?
It was a pretty cool moment in the book when she revealed that she in fact killed her father. And did they reveal how she killed her father?
Nope. None of that. They just revealed the secret and that's it.
Okay.
And that's why I'm like, I know you could tell that they are supposed to be important. Like they're going to be important to the story, but just like not a lot of time was spent on them, and it was frustrating because when they would get to them, I'm speed reading. I'm reading this stuff, but I'm reading fast so I can get back to Dalinar or Kaladin because I'm sorry, their story wasn't captivating.
Shallan's story in book 1 is not exciting. Book 2 is completely different pacing with her story.
And that was the problem because it wasn't that the story wasn't exciting. You hit it on the head. It was the pacing. And that's why it was frustrating.
For The Way of Kings is Shallan's character's arc had bad pacing, was kind of a slog a little bit.
Yes.
And she's an interesting character.
Yes.
She's doing
her
interesting
backstory
things.
is interesting. She's
Speaking of
paired
backstory.
up with another character who's freaking interesting. She's the king's sister, and she's considered heretic, but she can do all of these things. Like, she's a powerful character, and you can see the makings that Shalon is going to be a powerful character. But it felt like the author just was not interested in these two. He was more interested in these other characters, and like you said, the pacing showed that. So yeah, you were about to ask about backstory.
What'd you think of his use of flashbacks?
I didn't have a problem with it.
I
didn't have a problem with it. It didn't take me out of the story, and it revealed more of what the back history of their society was. So I didn't mind that, but I felt like it was
flashbacks to his childhood.
I really
growing up,
really
and then
like that.
When he joined he joined the army and lost his brother and all that stuff.
Yeah,
how he
I like
ended
that. I
up
thought
where
it
he
was done very well. Well, do people complain about that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I liked it.
No, actually, he's praised for his use of flashbacks because he does it in a way that really helps push the story forward. It doesn't bog you down in the past. You're going to read a bit of Kaladin's childhood, and then you're going to go back to where he is today as far as the story is concerned.
And he did it very seamlessly, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like it.
And sometimes the stuff that gets revealed from the past goes to explain a lot of what's happening to Kaladin in the present
and why he's the way he is.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like that. And not only with Kaladin, but in a way, he did the flashbacks with Dalinar as well, but it was it was the past. It wasn't Dalinar's past, but it was still the past. It was still flashbacks. I like the way that was done as well. But
you learn a lot more about Dalinar in book 3.
Okay. What I didn't like was just that this is a overarching storyline, right? I felt like by the time we got to the end of the book, there was not a clear point to the story, an objective to the story. Yes, I know that Shalon and Yasna, they're looking for the Voidbringers to see who they are, where they are. They feel like the Voidbringers were turned into the parchment and they're trying to research that. And then you have Dalinar. He's trying to unite all of the together under one, and so they can stop all of the infighting. And you have Seth, who belongs to a master who's probably part of the Ghost Bloods, or what are they called? Blood Ghosts or
Ghost Bloods?
Ghost Bloods. Okay, I did get it right the first time. So he's probably part of them. I could be wrong, but I think that he is. And he's have him going off killing all of these kings. So there's stuff going on, and how is it all related? And I feel like at the end of volume 1 that should have been revealed. And then at the end with Wit, and the one guy.
I love Wit.
I have a love-hate relationship with Wit, but you clearly love him, so tell us why.
Well, for one thing, I know more about Wit than you do.
Okay.
So, I think Wit, for one, he is that breath of comedy and insight that you kind of need in some of these heavier moments. Like his storytelling with Kaladin, when he set him down at the fire and gave him the flute, afterwards gave him the flute, that was a beautiful bit of storytelling. And it was a beautiful story. It was a beautiful moment. I thought that Wit had some of the funniest moments in the book next to Syl. I thought that, especially when they were going to like the king's feasts,
right? And
Wit was sitting there making fun of everyone who came into the room, except for Dalinar and a select few others. I mean,
mostly just Dalinar.
Mostly just Dalinar.
And that's my love-hate with him, because he did provide some levity and some laughter that was needed. So I was like, okay, I get it. But then he would pick on people and put them down. I'm like, is that really being? And someone pointed it out, which I really did appreciate. Like, is that really being clever?
It was Dalinar that
it's like,
pointed it out.
Is that really having wit? You're just putting people down, and that's what I had felt for the moment he was introduced into the book, and I was like, yeah, someone's calling him out, because that's how I feel. He reminded me of comedians that I don't like because their whole comedy bit is picking on people in the audience. And I'm like, well, why would I ever go to your show? You're going to pick on me. I might have an ugly hat, ugly dress or something, and you're going to spend your time on stage putting me down and everyone else in the audience. But then I go back to that love part, because you see the people he were picking on, they freaking deserved it.
Yes.
Like, so it was just like that love-hate relationship with him. But at the end, you have one of those knights or king. What are they? The 10 that are introduced in the beginning of the book. And the one that was left behind shows up.
Oh yeah,
and
the
he
heralds.
passes out. The herald, yes. And Wit's like, you're a little late, or something like that. He says, and I'm like, you're right about that. So that was full circle.
The king of heralds.
I appreciated that, because that was full circle, and that was such an interesting and compelling story that was told at the very beginning of the book, with the 10 of them, and 9 of them leave, and they leave that one guy behind. And I'm like, oh, I want to know more about that.
Oh, that's a story right there.
That's a story. And so I was like, ooh, I know this is all related to that. And just trying to figure out how it's related, and that's what I wanted them to reveal. But it was good enough that he did at least have that 10th person that have him show up there at the end, because that did give me a little bit of satisfaction, but still not enough payoff. Not enough.
Yeah, Hoyd, otherwise known as Wit, he's got a talent for showing up exactly where he needs to be when he needs to be there. Because he was there when the herald came, remember? He's
Yes.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
He was there for Kaladin.
He was there for Kaladin, and I always wondered about that. I'm like, what the hell is he doing that? And how did his apprentice, or whatever he's called, get into the Bridge 4?
Yeah.
So there was some interesting bits like that
Bridge 4
that showed up. Yeah.
was a true nightmare. That whole thing with Kaladin, running the bridges and almost flinging himself off the cliff until Syl brings him a leaf from that poison plant, and her giving him the poison that he had been holding on to commit suicide, and her innocence of not knowing what it was, figuring that ever since he lost that, things had been getting worse. And she wanted to make things better, so she went and found that for him. And just so many moments in the book were just like, wow, that was freaking awesome. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was okay.
Well, you'll have to
I don't know if I'm going to read the next book. I'm still thinking about that, and this will be something we'll have to update you guys on, because it was a good book. I don't know if the fun was enough to make me want to read the next book, because there was a lot of fluff in there as well. And the world was beautiful. I love the...
a lot of that
pictures and
fluff
things
is going to come back to be important later. A lot of characters, you're like, why am I reading about this person?
No, but it wasn't that, why am I reading about it? Because I could tell, like with Seth, you could tell while you're reading about it. You know why he's important.
Yeah.
All of those minor characters, they're there for a reason. It's not that, but it's like they need to be just as compelling as the ones whose story is being told the most at that moment. What I fear will happen is that I'll get to the next book, and you've already said Shalon will be basically the main character of that book. And
in the same way that Kaladin was.
In the same way that Kaladin was. And I'm going to want to rush through her parts just to get back to Kaladin because he made those characters more compelling.
She becomes a much more compelling character in book 2.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to read book 2, but this will be something I guess will be something to be continued, and we'll see. But I read this for you, so hopefully it made you happy that I read this book for you, and it was definitely worth it. I didn't walk away and feel like it was a waste of my time and like, oh, what? Why is he so in love with this book? I can see why. I can see why a lot of people really, really like it. But I do have to admit that you already know why I'm not a fan of fantasy. I've harped about it so much, you know. But I have to say that some of those reasons why I don't like fantasy is present in this book. And I've already said about how they draw things out, and how you don't have the payoff at the end. And to me, that was the biggest thing, my biggest complaint with this book. I just felt like there wasn't that payoff for the time.
Well, the payoff in this book was the freedom of Kaladin and the rest of Bridgeforth.
Yes.
That was the big payoff for this book. That was the big
payoff. But I still want to have a good sense of the overall story and the objectives that we're all going for, because they're all going to come together. And I feel like the plot and the story wasn't as cohesive as it could have been for a book that was 1,124 pages.
Okay.
So if it had been 600 pages, maybe I would have given more leeway. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm nitpicking. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I know that most people feel like you do, and y'all read fantasy books more than I do. So I just feel like that is a thing that is.
I think right now with the first book of this series in particular, this book was written, I believe, with the intention that it was definitely going to be a bigger story. Way of Kings Prime, I haven't read it yet. I have a copy of it. Is a digital copy, which was the book that he originally wrote, is Way of Kings. It's a completely different story. There are some elements of that left in this one, but it changed fundamentally when he rewrote the book, and then it got published. Okay. So I have the Way of Kings Prime. I just haven't read it yet. This is kind of like looking at a mosaic that's like the size of a wall, standing 2 feet from it. The first book, you're just seeing the colors that are being used to make the bigger picture.
That's a great description.
And as you read more and more of the books, you get further and further away from the mosaic. You start to see the bigger picture. So that's the way this book is.
And that's exactly my complaint with it. And I don't read books. I don't like to read books that way.
He can't pay off the bigger picture in the first book.
And that's why I don't like fantasy books. We've talked about this before.
You don't like. That's why you don't like series.
That's why I don't like series. But most of your series are fantasy books, and this is a trope this is a thing that they do, and that's okay. There's a huge audience for it. I'm just not that audience, and so that's why I want to be clear. It's not the book. It's not the book and the characters. There's most of the elements of this book are actually great. Like you said, I can 100% see why you like it. But for someone like me, it does not pull me in, and it frustrates me and takes away from the overall enjoyment of the book. And there's some great stuff there. Just take out a little bit of something.
Hopefully when you read the next book, you'll feel better about what's there, and you'll see a bigger part of the picture, and it'll make you more gratified to see.
And how many books are there again?
5.
Because normally he always says 10, and I'm like, 10 books of this. I can definitely tell you, no, it's a no for me. It's a no-go.
So book 4 of the series, there are 4 main books right now and 2 novellas. So right now, 6 books have been released as of tomorrow. Tomorrow, book 4 comes out. And the digital copy, I have a digital copy of the second novella, which takes place between books 3 and 4. and the first novella takes place, I think, between books 2 and 3. So and that one's so right now 6 books have been released. There are going to be 7 total in the first part of the series. And from what I understand, the way that Brandon Sanderson has said, that the first 5 main books of the series are going to encompass one story within the world, and the next 5 are going to encompass another story, maybe not even in this particular period of time. Just like he did with the Mistborn series. The first 3 books were a standalone trilogy that take place like 100 years before the next trilogy in the same world, in the Mistborn world. So the technology and culture differences are profound enough, and the characters from the first book are not part of the second series.
Anybody who is interested in the book, if you have Kindle Unlimited, book 1 is on Kindle Unlimited for free, and book 2 might be. I have to check on that, but the later books definitely are not. And
Brandon's all about his fans. He wants people to read the books. He wants people to enjoy his books. He put The Way of Kings Prime for free on the internet. He put the first 18 to 20 chapters for free of the 4th book, both as chapters online. You can download the PDFs, but also the first 18 chapters of the audiobook on YouTube for free. So he is all about the fans getting a hold of this stuff and getting their teeth wet and giving back to the fans, really. I've met him once. He seems like a really cool guy. I really love it. Can't wait to see him again at another convention. I'm getting ready to do a costume from Shard Plate.
Oh, okay.
Now that you know what it is, I'm going to be doing a Shard Plate.
Oh, what did you think? Oh, let me let you finish what you were saying. You're going to be doing a Shard Plate cosplay?
Yeah. A radiant Shard Plate.
Okay. You're going to have the blade as well?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be big.
Yep. It's going to be big. So what did I think of what?
Oh, my Bridge 4 description before I read the book. I think I was pretty darn close.
What was your Bridge score?
I don't remember, but I remember saying, "Oh, they're an army that they work on the bridge," and blah. I don't remember what else I said, but after reading the book, I was pretty darn close.
You were close enough for arrow range or so.
Yeah, I was.
Archer range.
We're supposed to be doing Geek Fitness, and I think it totally should be Bridge 4. Workout.
Yeah, a Bridge 4 workout. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty freaking cool. Yeah, we need to work on Bridge 4 workout.
Yeah, so. We get a piece of wood, and we're going to practice carrying it sideways and over our head, and we're totally going to do that, and we're going to...
and we're going to die.
But we're going to get a good workout.
The same height.
But we're going to get a good workout. So I think overall, I would say this really is a great series, and this was a good book that I read. I did not appreciate the length of it, and I would have preferred a little more cohesive story at the end, as far as just hone in on what the goal is.
That was awesome. That was really awesome, and then we're gonna look through this book, and now that she's read the books and she can see the artwork and appreciate, because they have more artwork in this than they do in the regular book.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're gonna do right now. Until next time, I'm William.
And I'm Kina.
Stay nerdy.